What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to read chapter 6, True to the Game, a classic by Teri Woods. Handle your business. From the time they left the club, Rasson's jaw was still set in a mad position. You see Sahara sweating all over Winston? I'm saying, I really like that girl, but she don't want to act right. Red's observation was astute. Fuck the bitch. Rasson put on his woman ain't shit act. Man, that is what I wanted to do, but fuck it. I'm not sweating no female. I know that's right. Rob pulled up on the block Kenny's house was on. Damn, what the fuck happened out here? Some serious shit by the looks of it, Reds answered. Rob parked the car, and they both got out and walked up the block to where the police cars were angled to block traffic. A paramedic's van was drawing attention as it made its way through the crowded one-way street. Ryan and Red stood on the block and watched with the rest of the neighborhood. It was unbelievable. The chaos and mayhem surrounding Kenny's house was some real major shit. The police were everywhere. Ryan and Reds watched as the police escorted Kenny from the house and into the back of a nearby paddy wagon. His hands were cuffed behind his back, and he was calm. Damn. What the fuck did he do? Reds asked, watching the paramedics push a covered body on a stretcher into the back of the ambulance. A distraught young girl was headed their way, and Red stopped her for a moment. What happened? Kenny killed his father, she said. Ra went cold, grasping the girl's arm, frightening her with his grip. He could only get one word. What? Trying to back off, she told him, he shot him about 6 or 7 times, they said. I told you not to give Kenny's ass no gun. The motherfucker done killed his pop, said Reds. Rasson came to himself and let the girl go, with an apology in his eyes. Adjusting himself to chase the chill, his quick mind speculated. What are we gonna do? Reds really didn't know what the next move should be, but he tried to think. Reds and Rasson just sat there on the neighbor's porch steps, trying to put everything into perspective. Ra was thinking of Quad's reaction. Man, we should have never gone out. That's what Quad's gonna say. We should have just stayed out on the Ave. I know, Red said. I didn't think he would kill his pops, though. What are we gonna do? What is there for us to do? We can go get the money, said Reds. Motherfucker, is you crazy? 5-0 all up in the house, man. Rock could see only danger in the suggestion. I'm not going in the house with Ola running around gathering evidence and shit. Well, I know where Kenny keeps everything. I'm going to get the money, Red said, walking down the sidewalk to the front door. When the cop stopped him, he acted like he belonged. That's my aunt, let me by. He started shouting, and Miss Parks heard the commotion. She told the police to let him pass by. She had fresh tears in her eyes, streams of water down her cheeks, and a look of hurt on her face. Once inside, he asked her what happened. I don't know. It happened so fast. Kenny and his dad were cursing and arguing about him drinking and whatnot. I thought it was going to be okay because Kenny went up to his room, and when he came back downstairs, he kissed me on my cheek and said he was going out. Tears tracked the lines of her face. But Reds knew they were not for the dead man. Who was drinking? She looked at Reds as if to wonder where the stupid question came from. His father. Wiping tears, she continued. Anyway, when Kenny went to go outside, his father told him he couldn't go nowhere, and they started arguing again. Then Kenny's dad hit him, and she just sat there. And Kenny shot him, she said, still not believing it. She had lost a husband to a son, and now, possibly a son to the system. She looked so tired, not from the drama her home had been exposed to, but tired of getting whooped on. She had taken many a beating in her day from Kenny's father, and it truly showed. Reds asked Miss Parks if he could use the bathroom. Go ahead, baby. Reds went straight to Kenny's room, opening the closet door and locating the shoebox. He grabbed it and checked the contents. The money and the caps were there, just like always. Kenny must have put the caps back after he shot his dad. Reds quickly grabbed the shit and put it in his pants pocket. Kenny fucked up, he thought. He shouldn't have killed his pops. He heaved a great sigh and went back downstairs. "Miss Parks, I gotta go, but I'll be back to check on you." "Okay." She was crying again. "Don't worry, Miss Parks. Everything will be alright. Qua will get him out of jail." "I sure hope Quadir gets my son out of jail. Oh Lord Jesus, please don't let them put my son in jail." Reds could hear Miss Parks praying to herself as she walked out on the porch and past all the police officers. He went straight to Rawson and handed him the money and the pack of caps. "What happened?" Ra asked, stuffing his pockets. "Man, the shit is fucked up." Miss Parks said Kenny and his pops were fighting and arguing, and Kenny's dad told him he couldn't go outside. And when Kenny tried to leave the house, his pops hit him, and that's when Kenny killed him. Rawson stood there looking at his friend. He was trying to understand what Kenny had been thinking. He knew Kenny was an abused child. He knew Kenny had it hard because his pops was a drunk, but he never thought it was that bad for Kenny, that Kenny had to take the man's life. "Ra, listen to me. You should have seen the house. It was blood everywhere. Miss Parks was all beat the fuck up and shit. It was chaotic. Kenny really killed his pops in that motherfucker," said Reds as he stood there shaking his head in disbelief. Rawson's head went up, eyes working back and forth. Miss Parks was all beat up? "Man, you know Mr. Parks beat her ass every night he got home." "Damn, Kenny's dad on some bullshit, 'cause he wouldn't have been hitting the fuck on me," said Ra. "If you was a visitor in that motherfucker, you would get your ass kicked just like everybody else. That's why I never went inside there when Mr. Parks was home." "We gotta tell Qua." "I know. He not gonna like this," Reds observed. "What you think he gonna do? Pay his bail, get him out of jail?" Ra was thinking how this kind of news could ruin Quadir's vacation, decided it would be best not to burden Quadir until he knew what the bail was. The next morning, Rawson woke up around 11:30. He sent his little brother to the corner store to get a newspaper. He wanted to read about Kenny. "Reds, you sleep?" he asked, eventually waking up Reds. Reds was sleeping comfortably in Ra's little brother's bed. Poor Rafik, they treated him so rough. When they came in last night, Reds put him on the floor. Didn't even put a pillow or a blanket. Rafik walked in the bedroom door and surprised his brother with a rolled up newspaper in the face. "Nigga, I'ma kick your little ass." "I'ma kick your ass," said Rafik, slamming the bedroom door. As Ra scoured the newspaper, Reds observed, "Man, your little brother is bad. If he was my little brother, I would fuck him up." Pausing, then he asked, "Is Kenny in there?" "Wait a minute." Rawson quickly turned the pages. As he smelled an unpleasant odor, he looked at his friend. "Reds, why you farting this motherfucker?" He stopped turning pages and uttered, "Oh shit." "What?" Reds asked, laying in the bed, trying to figure out why he woke up with a limp dick. Rawson sat there reading the newspaper article, not believing it. "What?" he asked again, smelling his hands. "You're not gonna believe it." Ra was in a state of disbelief. Reds picked up the gun off the floor and pointed at Rawson. "Man, what does the motherfucker say?" "Winston was shot, and Sahara is dead." Rawson dropped the newspaper, forgetting Kenny and ignoring the fact that Reds pulled the gun on him like he always did. Rawson promised his dick he'd get back to it. "What? The boy Winston? Who would have figured that simple motherfucker would take a hit and live?" said Reds, shaking his head, reaching for the newspaper Rawson had dropped. He picked it up and started reading the article out loud. 19-year-old Sahara Bowden was pronounced dead on arrival at Temple University Hospital this morning at approximately 3:47 a.m. Bowden suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the chest area from a semi-automatic weapon. Bowden was a passenger in a vehicle being operated by Winston Trimber, age 26. Trimber suffered a gunshot wound to the left rotator cuff. Police believe Trimber was giving Bowden a ride home from a nightclub when the incident occurred. There are no suspects and no witnesses. "What the fuck is a rotator cuff?" asked Reds. "It's your shoulder," Ra answered in a soft voice. Reds thought to himself for a minute and decided he wanted to know all the parts of the body. I'm going back to school. You need to if you don't know what a rotator cuff is. Fuck you, said Reds. Rod couldn't contain his frustration. Damn. Sahara would have been alive if she just come with us. I tried to tell her, come on. I tried to tell her, you know I did, right? Man, I know you tried to get her to go with you, 'cause you liked the girl, and you wanted to fuck her. But she had a choice. Sahara made the wrong one. It's not your fault. That's the only way I see it. She fucked up. She made the wrong choice, and it cost her, for real. She dissed you, so how could it be your fault? Now Kenny is different, Reds continued, because I told you not to put no gun in the boy's hand. Shit, I was worried he was still upset about that girl. I thought that motherfucker was gonna shoot my ass. And you up there telling me to hand a nigga a gun, knowing I fucked his young John? Kenny wouldn't shoot you. You don't know how Kenny is when he thinks you're not his friend. You don't count no more to him. That's Kenny, man. Kenny is not my fault, Ra argued. I gave him the gat because he was going to be out there without us, said Ra. What are you talking about? They had to see Rasson's mother walk in. Nothing, Mom. What's a gat, and who'd you give one to? She asked, frowning her eyebrows. Mom, it's nothing really, Mom. I hope you didn't give Kenny no gun. He killed his father, you know, she said. I know, he admitted. That's why you sent your brother to the corner store to get that paper. I told you Rafik is only 9. He is not allowed outside by himself, and you keep sending him out there. You better start thinking, Rassan, about what you're doing. You too, Reds, she said. Yes, ma'am, Red said. You boys need jobs. You're gonna get a job, Rassan. I don't want no job, Mom. Please, don't make me work for the white man, said Rassan, begging his mother not to pressure him. Damn it, a paycheck is a paycheck. You don't want to work for a white man to work for a black man, but you're gonna get a job, Rassan. She was righteous. Wasn't nobody in the house gonna lay around collecting dirty money, taking chances with her baby son Rafik. You too, Reds. I want both of you to get jobs. All Reds needed was a hat in his hand. Yes, ma'am. I've been looking for a job, Miss Claire. That's good, Reds. But when are you gonna get one? I don't know. I don't think nobody's gonna give me a chance. Rassan couldn't get over Reds kicking it to his mom. Well, Reds, you gotta keep trying, she advised. And take him with you. Mom, I've been working with Quadir. He's letting me fix up his apartment building so I can get my winter clothes. Well, I know Quadir is a good person. I know his mother. But you don't need to be giving people no gats or whatever you said. Shit, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I know it don't sound right. Miss Claire was finally at the bedroom door, closing it behind her, leaving Rassan and Reds looking stupefied. Oh, and Rassan, she said, opening up the door again. Your father said don't think about leaving this house without cleaning up this bedroom, she said, closing the door again. Don't kill your pops, man. Just clean up the room, joked Reds. Man, my mom's be bugging. She been on me about getting a job for the longest. Man, I don't know why you don't go to college or something. Look at you. Your moms and your pops still together. You got a nice crib. Your moms talk to you real nice. Your pops does shit for you. You never been in no trouble. You never stole because your dad always gave you money. He used to give me money too, Red said, thinking back to when they were little and life was easy. I'm saying, if I had all the advantages you had, I wouldn't be out here hustling. Man, shut the fuck up with your bullshit. See me after you get a high school diploma. I'll be done with college by then, Rassan said. You know what? Fuck you and your attitude. All I'm saying is I wish I would have grown up with you because you got a real nice family. I really dig your moms, said Reds. Rod thought about what he had and what Reds never had, which was a mother or a father. Reds was a foster child at the age of 5 up until his aunt adopted him when he was 12. Man, I'm fucked up. You're right, 'cause it's my fault about Kenny and Sahara. No, it's not. I didn't mean it. I really didn't. You gave Kenny the gun because Kenny needed the gun out on the Ave. He wasn't supposed to shoot nobody with the gun, just protect himself. If his pops hadn't beat on him all his life, he wouldn't have killed him. Nothing is your fault, especially Sahara. Ra appreciated Red's effort, but it didn't make Ra feel any better. Read about Kenny, he said, handing Reds the paper. Okay, it says, 20-year-old Kenny Davis Jr. shot and killed his father, Kenny Davis Sr., with a 9mm semi-automatic weapon last night. Mr. Davis Sr. was pronounced dead in his home at approximately 1:30 a.m. He suffered 7 gunshot wounds to the chest. Miss Julia Davis called the police while the argument was in progress. When the police arrived, it was too late. The argument between the father and son had already ended in a fatal shooting, said Reds, shaking his head in disbelief. Kenny snapped, added Ra, shaking his head too. Yo, they got a picture of Kenny looking crazy as hell. Look at this shit. Reds handed the picture to Rasan. Rasan didn't like what he saw and handed the newspaper back to him. Kenny didn't look right. Silence filled the room as Rasan and Red stared at the blank empty space, neither saying a word. For a moment, Rasan remembered Sahara. She was so pretty, with her dimples and soft brown eyes that glared in innocence Rasan felt the night they were together. Red sat up next to Ra and took in Kenny killing his pops. He knew Kenny was in the zone when he did it. He knew how Kenny got when he drank syrup. He knew Kenny was wishing that he was home getting ready to meet up with the rest of the crew, hang out and kick it with the ladies, just be free instead of in a cell. Pookie said Kenny had drank 2 ounces of yellow and was tripping. He felt bad for him because when he slept off his high and woke up to the reality of what he had done, that shit is gonna hurt. The silence was too much to handle and Reds had to break it. You can't control God's setup. Only God knows why he called for Sahara and Kenny's dad. Haven't you been to a funeral? Reds finally blurted out. Yeah. Well, the preacher says that God has a reason for everything. I don't have the answers to why, but I do know that we got business to take care of. Come on. Slim Sammy, a neighborhood piper, had just finished wiping down the BMW when Ryan Reds went outside. Did anybody ask you to fuck with the car? Ra said, snapping on the older man. Chill, said Reds. Every day Slim Slimmy would wipe down cars. Now Ra was mad at him. Reds knew he was upset and told Slim Sammy not to pay him no mind. He gave him $5 and told him to step off. They got in the car, put the brick in the back seat. Reds put his Ghetto Boys tape in the stereo and sped down the street. Rasan took the park to cut through the north side to West Philly. He made a left on Lancaster Avenue and traveled down the Ave. Yo, there goes Rock. Where at? Said Reds, looking all around for his gold Mercedes-Benz but couldn't see it. Don't you see him? He right over there, Reds said, pointing at the car. Oh, I see him now. Rasan and Reds sat waiting for the light to change when a black 4-door Volvo drove into the bank's parking lot and pulled up to Rock's Benz. Reds and Rasan watched in astonishment as the driver pulled out a Uzi. The gunshots came from out of nowhere as bullets flew everywhere. Anyone within earshot felt a surge of fear and panic. All movement on Lancaster Avenue froze, except for mothers who never freeze when their kids were in danger. Quickly grabbing their babies and ducking behind cars, the gunfire ceased. The only thing left to be heard was the sound of screeching tires making their exit. Rasan and Red sat at the light watching everything. Their eyes widened, and both felt so bad for Rock. They didn't know him like that, but he was quite his people, which meant he was family. Just looking on, the Volvo pulled up out of nowhere, and out of nowhere was nothing but gunfire. In the blink of an eye, the Volvo sped away. Damn, exclaimed Reds. Rock never even had a chance to see it coming. Everything happened so fast. Before they even knew it, the Volvo was gone and Rock was left slumped in his Mercedes with 2 bullet wounds to the head and 4 to the chest. What are we gonna do? Said Ra. He was still sitting at the light, feeling as if the bullets had just ripped through the metal of the BMW and into his own flesh. He looked around, making sure the drama had ended. Let's get the money he had for the brick, Red said, thinking about the 30 grand that would go to the police if they didn't take it. Huh? Man, don't sleep. Reds could hear the sirens all around. Cops would be there. Reds could hear the sirens all around. Cops would be there with the quickness because it was a bank. Come on, pull up next to the Benz. People had begun to crowd around the car, staring in awe at Rock's brains spilling from his skull. Rob pulled up right alongside the car, his eyes flicking back and forth at the speed of light as he glanced over trying to get a glimpse of Rock's dead body. Reds jumped out the car and dashed over to the Benz. The sirens were getting louder and closer as he opened the door. He knew people were looking at him. He reached under the front seats and felt a familiar shape. Rock's gun. He pulled the gun out, stuffing it in his jacket, frightening an elderly woman half to death at the sight of the jumbo-sized stainless steel 9mm. He felt nothing under the driver's seat. Where's the money? He got out and walked around to the passenger side of the car and opened the door. Reaching under the seat, he smelled success. Bam! There it was. A plastic bag filled with money. "Hello," he said, grabbing it. Once outside the car again, he had to get rid of all the people. "All y'all back the fuck up. Step off. Old man, you can't save him. Why you standing there?" He slammed the door and ran back over to the BMW. "Flee this motherfucker, Ra." Ra was out before Reds could close the door. He pulled out the light and turned right on Red. Bam! There was Ola, sirens blaring, red and blue flashing lights on their way to the scene of the crime. Something about those vehicles that just fucked the brother up. Ra and Red sat still as hell, while the police went speeding by them. "Yes, that's what I'm saying," said Reds, thinking God the cops didn't stop them. Ra drove on, passing more police cars rushing to get to the murder scene. "Yo, roll like an ordinary citizen," said Reds, taking off his baseball cap. "I don't believe this shit. Every day someone is getting killed," said Ra. "Did you see him?" said Reds. "No, I couldn't see shit. Was he alive?" "Hell no. He was dead. D-E-A-D, dead like Fred." "Wait till Quadir finds out," said Ra, knowing the vacation was over. "Yeah, we gotta call him now." "I know, I was gonna call him after I took care of Rock to let him know everything was alright." "Well, shit ain't alright, man. I have never been that close to a body before. I mean, his eyes were open and he was staring at me when I took his money out the glove compartment. And guess what else? He belched real loud too." Rasan sat looking at his friend. "Yo, Ak, this lifestyle ain't healthy for a brother," Reds continued. Reds was looking in the bag at Rock's money when he noticed his arm. "I got blood on me," he said in a low-pitched voice like a girl. "How you do that?" said Rasan, looking at him. "I don't know. I must have brushed up against something in the car." "Was blood all in the car?" "Man, Rock's brains were all over the car. I'm telling you, the whole side of the boy's head was gone," said Reds as he looked in the plastic bag at all the money. "I just want you to know, I'm not taking no more money off of dead people or out of their cars or out of their houses or nothing. It should be a commandment to not take shit from dead people," said Reds. "It is. It's called Thou Shalt Not Steal," said Rasan, looking at his troubled friend. "Man, I'm saying the boy was looking at me. I think he seen me taking his money. I think he might have still been among the living. If you could have seen the way his dead, beady eyeballs looked at me," he said, trying to shake it off. "I gotta call Quadir as soon as we get back to the spot." "Yo, what we gonna do with this money?" Rasan and Rez took a long look at each other, both feeling the same. The boy Rock died with a tab and owed Quadir, but Quadir gonna mark it off as a loss because he's dead. We didn't fuck up the rest of the money. Quadir got $90,000 waiting for him when he gets back, and he only been gone 3 days. He don't have to know nothing about this," said Reds. He wasn't sure if Ra was feeling him, but he really wanted some of that money. He knew the only way of keeping some of it and not having to worry was if Rasan agreed with him and never told Quadir. Ra stole a glance at Reds and realized the man needed a cheering section. "We could come up with this money," said Ra. "That's what I'm saying, me and you, baby," said Reds, grasping Ra's hand. Ra took his time driving back to North Philly. He went to the apartment. Reds grabbed the bags out the car, and both of them went inside. Ra went right to the phone, picked up the receiver, and called Quadir at the number he left. Reds opened a bag of money, stuffing some in his pocket, as Ra concentrated on phoning Qua. The hotel operator connected the call to his room. As the phone began to ring, Rasan thought of what he would tell him first. He knew Gina would be upset to hear about her roadie and figured he wouldn't tell Quadir about Sahara until he came home. Qua would be real upset about Rock and even more distraught to hear about Kenny's arrest. Ra let the phone ring about 6 times, when he hung up and called back again. The hotel operator answered again and connected him to the room. Again, The phone just rang and rang. Damn, where this nigga at? He said, slamming down the phone. If you like what you hear, comment, subscribe, like, share your thoughts, all of that.